Christian Hernandez here with Sports Video Group. We have a treat for you today. It is the FIFA World Cup 2026 final, and we have the two teams. It is Spain and Argentina. They will play this Sunday at New York, New Jersey Stadium. And we have a great guest to talk about all the fun things that were happening inside the stadiums across North America. It is head of event production and stadium entertainment for FIFA World Cup 2026. Lance Brass. Lance, how you doing, man? Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure to come and join you.
Yeah, it's been such I would say such a ride for you guys. We were kind of discussing a little bit before recording about the numbers, but I'll do my best. There's 104 matches in 39 days with 48 teams in 16 venues in three countries in a single continent. Uh, it's got to be a wild ride. So I know it's been very busy for you. You're currently in the New York, New Jersey area to prepare for the
Yes, sir.
final. But let's talk about before the World Cup started, Lance. What went into the preparation? You kind of understood that FIFA and all the governing bodies wanted to have a big stadium and an event, presentation part of it. So what did you do to prepare for an event of this scale?
I think we did a number of site visits. That was the first thing to really get to
Yeah,
understand the stadiums and understand the capabilities of all the stadiums. And they're so wildly different.
right.
I mean, you have SoFi, which is basically a rocket ship.
Yeah,
You have, and then you have BMO, which was being built as we were going, Azteca, which is going through huge renovations. So it was really, that was like path one forward was to understand exactly what we could do in all the stadiums and how we could sort of level out the playing field so that all the stadiums got and all the fans got the same level of experience across the board.
right.
Which of course is really interesting because again, SoFi giant Halo screen versus Montreal only had two screens, but it was a beautiful stadium with an incredible vibe. So we just kind of leaned into that. So that was the first thing we did. I mean, content was a huge part of what we did. I don't know if you've been to any of the stadiums, but we were the first organization to ever use anamorphic graphics in the stadium. So ones that kind of like come out of the screen at you.
Right.
So we went through a really intense, diligent process of figuring how we wanted to build all of our content, what we wanted to get done, how we wanted to maximize the budget to get the most out of it. And I think that was a big part of it. Music was a huge part of it, and that's been a hugely successful part of the stadium entertainment program. We were working for, real literally for 2 years on putting together a music program that gave the culture of the teams, the culture of football, the culture of the host cities, the culture of Canada, America, and the USA, and brought it all together. And worked really, really closely with the MAs, the member associations, to find out what music they wanted for their key moments. So that was a big process.
Right.
Staffing was a huge process. We
Sure.
have a very, very large staff doing stadium entertainment across the World Cup. Very integrated. Let's call it integrated process
Yeah.
to find all the staff. We have producers, directors in every stadium, floor managers, the key staff at the stadiums, integrating with them. And then we have a large base of operations at the International Broadcast Center. We're actually, I think, the second largest FIFA. Sorry,
No worries.
second largest FA at the IBC. We deliver all of the matches to all of the screens at all 16 stadiums from the IBC. So we recut the broadcast feeds for a specific stadium feed,
Mhm.
and we have 5 edit suites that churn out content like a factory.
Right.
I mean, we will have made by the end of this World Cup, we will have sent out 100,000 pieces of content to the different stadiums.
Wow.
So it's a lot.
And that's probably the biggest thing from a challenge side for you, Lance, where you guys are based in Dallas and the IBC, but you're also having to have communication with stadiums across different time zones, different customs of producing, because the way that
Yeah.
we might produce games in the US might differ in Canada, might differ in Mexico, and you're also entertaining fans from different countries in Europe, and they're used to a different sort of game day atmosphere. So talk about those challenges. I guess start from the creative side, Lance, where it's like we need to entertain a large large area of people, right? And they all have different likes, dislikes, but we also want to make it uniformed because that's the brand identity of the FIFA World Cup 2026. So talk about that. The collaboration, you mentioned there's a lot of staffers that you had to work with, just the challenges that you dealt with on that side and overcoming them.
The great part about FIFA is it's a pretty collaborative organization. So we've been
Yeah.
really lucky in working with our brand department and with sort of all the stakeholders. But realistically, it was really an interesting, really fun process to go through to try and figure out exactly what you just said, right? You got the North American culture of sport, which is, you go to an NFL game and it's big and it's wow all the time. You go to an NHL game and they have a different culture. NBA is a different culture. And then football, especially if you go to Europe or South America, it's a very different culture. And we wanted to make sure that we respected the fandom coming from all over the world and also gave them an opportunity to experience North American sport.
Right.
And so we went through, a number of processes to try and figure out where we can and can't, where the timing works. I think the biggest difference between football and a lot of the North American sports is that there's no stoppages in play.
Right.
So you got to do all your entertainment in the beginning, in the halftime, and the post match. It was a really interesting process. And what we really want to do is make sure that we gave the fans their moments.
Hmm.
We know they love to sing, and we give them the opportunity
Right.
to sing. We know they want to. The team is their heroes, and they want to be there. We want to see them. That's such an important thing, and they want to also get the opportunity to be part of the American culture. So we looked at the time blocks really, really closely at what happens when. And I
Right.
think that's how it managed to work out. So we had like North American style entertainment with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. We had, just recently the semifinal in Dallas, we brought in the Zach Brown band to perform at halftime. We've
Yeah.
had Steve Aoki, we got Michael Bruce Buffer. We're trying to make it as big and entertaining as we can. But
Mhm.
at the same time, making sure we have the moments carved out and the opportunity for the fans to really engage with their teams. And then wherever possible,
Mhm.
amplify the things they want to do. So we made the row part of our stadium entertainment program. We brought the horn and the drum up to our stage. We brought in Erlend, the singer from Norway, who sang the Norwegian song before the drums did. We tried to bring as much as we could to amplify what they were doing already to give them more of a thing.
Right.
And I think, my greatest takeaway from any match is that the fans are there to see the football, and the football is going to give them a memory. But if we can give them a memory from stadium entertainment of one thing that they felt like they were bigger than themselves, that they were part of something huge, part of a whole stadium engaging, then that to me is a success. And I think we've managed to do that with a lot of the fans. Music has been a huge role in it. And I think what's really cool is so Wonderwall wasn't originally one of the English traditions. They always sang Sweet Caroline. And again,
Right.
like I said, we worked with the MAs
Mhm.
and the English team sent us a bunch of songs. And we'd play those out, but we just had this. So Ryland Baptiste, who's our music manager, brilliant guy.
Right.
He was at the game. Me and him were talking. He's like, we should really try Wonderwall at the end of the game. It's something that's so intrinsically part of the English culture. Let's
Hmm.
try it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hit it. And then all of a sudden it became a viral thing. And we created a new tradition for the English fans. So it's the same thing with Country Roads with the US fans. There wasn't really a traditional song for the
Right.
US national team. I was talking to Amy Hopfinger, who's the chief strategy officer for the US. She's like, what are we going to play? I'm like, I don't know, Country Roads, Living on a Prayer. She's
Yeah.
like, Country Roads, done. And we played Country Roads and became a thing for the US team. So creating those, being able to create new traditions and those connecting moments with the teams and the fans, that's really the big win, right? You can get the fans and teams to connect on that level. It's worth it all.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the US, when they beat Bosnia and Herzegovina, right? It was near the 4th of July, and they beat that team, and then they played Country Roads. You see it on the broadcast. You don't even have to be inside the stadium. The work that you guys did on the broadcast was shining through. I mean, on the stadium side, shine through on Fox for the US viewers. And you mentioned
Yep.
that Wonderwall type of tradition that I had no clue that you guys started that. It was so good that the fans kind of clashed onto that I thought that was something that they'd done for 10 years because they have their songs Freed from Desire. They go nuts for any
Yep.
type of music that they play, especially if their team wins. And the scenes from Harry, from Jude, from the entire team kind of having their arms across each other and singing with the fans, that's got to be something magical. And then watch, they're going to take it to the Euros in 2 years, I'm sure.
Of
It's something
course.
that'll last a lifetime and to be something part of that. That's got to be something that's really cool. Lance, I'll
That's
ask you.
amazing to be part of a new tradition. It
Yeah,
really is amazing to start a new tradition.
definitely, definitely. Lance, I guess I'll ask you this question, right? Before the World Cup started, the biggest thing that people saw from kind of a teaser standpoint was, hey, this is what the walkouts are going to be, right? With the fans, all the players get to go to the center circle with the flags and the national anthems. And can you go into that a little bit more? Because that's become a moment that, I've heard Die Die and DNA, they're kind of, it's ingrained in my DNA at this point because I've just heard it so many times. But those touchstones where I'll hear that song now, or fans will hear that song now, and they'll just imagine the players walking onto the pitch. Can you talk to me about what your role was on that side of things and then the lasting legacy of something like that?
I was certainly part of like the music selection and
Yeah.
the overarching sort of pathways and planning of how it's going to work. So we
Hmm.
have a senior ceremonies manager named Megan Ryan who is managing the majority of like the banner part and the excuse me, working with the suppliers who developed all that.
Right.
And our executive director, Jenny Van Gelder, was a big part of that as well. A lot of what I was doing was sort of creating the timing of it, working through
Right.
the run of show, and then just determining all the music for it, working with our senior management to come up with what we wanted that to be. And we went through a number of iterations of what that music could be, and a number of thoughts about what, whether it would change in the course of the tournament, whether it would all stay the same. And it did change a couple times through the course of the group stage. I mean, it started with the walkout song started with Sirius, the Bulls track, and then we went to Die Die because it made sense for the actual tournament that it was a tournament track. I love DNA personally.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that being an earworm for a while. Um, and then the cross into Titanium, I think that's a great track because everybody knows that they can sing along.
Right.
So I think those moments have really become iconic. I think adding we did a last minute ad where we added sort of the karaoke style words to the national anthem. Karaoke is the wrong word for national anthem, but you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah. Right.
the
Sing along
lyrics on the
version.
screen of the national anthem, and you
Yeah.
can see the players looking up at the screens and singing along, and that's been fantastic. And I think the center circle is something new, and it's always great to do new and innovative things. I think, football is an ever evolving game and an ever evolving fandom, and evolving these moments really makes the game special.
Right.
And so doing something new, we did last year, the Club World Cup, we did the first time ever, we did the player walkouts,
Yeah.
and that was great. And that was a good learning experience for everybody. So be able to build on that and do something new and exciting for the World Cup has been really, really excellent. And I think anytime you can do anything innovative, we should go for it. And I think we
Yeah.
did, and it was successful.
Lance, you mentioned when you go see games in the US, they're kind of in your face, a little bit like over the top, but that's great. That's what we love. And
Yeah.
I think a Super Bowl and then halftime show, you guys did three performances for all the kickoff games in each country. So you're not only, so like Super Bowl does one, right? But you
Yeah.
guys did three different live performances before each game in Mexico, Canada, and the US. The lift that took, kind of getting the artists and making sure that that was kind of curated and how it looked a little similar, but also had the touches of each country. Can you go into that a little bit for me, Lance?
We have a whole ceremonies team. It's led by our executive director of events entertainment, Jenny Lee Van Gelder. She's an absolute creative rock star.
Right.
And so her ceremonies team, I was still leading production on it for the
Yeah.
most part. And we were working with Ballage Wonder Studios, I think
Hmm.
that's the name, BWS,
Yeah.
who are the actual supplier who were creating the ceremonies. And it was a great project. There's a huge team working on it. A really big uplift from a production side, I can tell you, to be able to do three ceremonies in 3 days.
Yeah.
And each stadium presented a different set of, let's call them, challenges for
Sure.
how that was going to look and feel similar in any way. Azteca is such an iconic stadium, but it's not built for that kind of thing. It's something that was built in the 60s and has been gone through various renovations, but it's not built for big productions, built for football.
Right.
Whereas SoFi, I mean, it's SoFi. It's
Exactly.
do
Yeah.
anything there. It's incredible. It's built for whatever you want it to be. And BMO Field ended up being great and looking great, but it was a work in progress to get to what it was. So
Right.
getting through the front end of planning that was really quite a process. And our technical director, a guy named Tom Casey, who's absolutely like one of those beautiful minds. Like you can tell, there's always equations in front of his face. He's
Sure.
figuring out how much you can rig onto what. It's just absolutely brilliant. Was going through tons of processes with BMO Field and Azteca to figure out how we can rig all this stuff. We're going from off the roof
Right.
and off on the catenary systems. And for me, it was figuring out timings and movements and working with BWS on creatively what we can and can't do, how we would deal with the screens. Because as much as I lead a lot of the creative on the stadium entertainment side, there was a huge creative team on the ceremony side of the groups that included our senior management. Jenny Lee ran it, and so figuring out how all that came together to work and look somewhat similar across the board on very, very differing stadiums
Right.
was really, really an enjoyable, interesting, and intense process.
So let's zero in on the final this Sunday, right? You only have to worry about one more stadium, one more game. Well, technically, at the time of recording, it's Thursday, so there's the third place match. So
There is a
technically,
third
two
place
more
match.
games, but the
Oh,
one that
yes.
is the biggest one is for the trophy, right? The first halftime show in World Cup final history, featuring Justin Bieber, BTS, Madonna, and Shakira, and curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin. I mean, what's going to go into that? What are the preparations for that? And just being a part of an historic moment like that, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, part of it's incredible. It's been so Global Citizens producing it. They have a number of production companies are working with DPS and Dun and Dusted and a few others.
Right.
So we've been working hand in hand with them. it's been really incredible to be part of that process.
Mhm.
It's such a huge undertaking, and obviously huge AAA artists part of it. Again, I'll give quite a lot of credit to Jenny Lee. She's been spearheading that with them through the course of the process. It's been interesting for me because a large part of my purview is delivering the under 103 games
Yeah,
and making sure all the entertainment, the stadiums, and everything are working for those three. So being able to be a part of that and the halftime and the opening ceremony and everything that's going into the final has been really incredible.
right.
And it's been a lot of times the World Cup of celebrity too. There's been so much interest from celebrity culture out there being part of it. So just to top it all off with something like this with Madonna and BTS and Bieber and everybody,
Right.
it's a good way to say thank you to the U.S. as a host nation. I know it wasn't part of the question, but I think we did our best. We had three incredible host nations.
Yeah.
Canada. I'm Canadian. I was so proud of Canada and how we did the World Cup. Mexico was incredible, and the U.S. We tried to do something really really great to say goodbye and thank you to each of the host nations. And I think we managed to do something great. And this is the kind of top off. So for Mexico, which was the first nation that closed down, we did a halftime performance with Mana. We had Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Camilo come out and introduce them. And it was really, and they sang El Rey, which was like the song of Mexico. And that to me was just such an incredible moment to hear 80,000 people singing along with Mana, the biggest rock band in Mexico. It gives me chills just thinking about it. And then we had fireworks and the Mexican flag off the roof, and that was so to go to an iconic stadium like Azteca and be able to do that and produce it in such short notice. And that was my stadium entertainment team, and I managed to do that was really, really, really it meant a lot to me personally. And then 2 days later to come home to Canada, managed to get Tom Cochrane to sing "Life Is a Highway" at halftime was something to me was the most Canadian thing we could do, and it just felt, it really felt so proud to be Canadian in that moment.
Right.
So now to do this to close out the U.S. and the World Cup and say thank you to America as a host nation and say thank you to all the countries for hosting such an incredible World Cup. I think you couldn't imagine a better way to do it.
Definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it means a lot.
Definitely justified to do something that big and on the biggest
Absolutely.
stage in world football. Lance, you've done a really good job weaving in some of the people that you're working with on your side, but anyone else you might have missed or any other people that come to mind when you want to give shout outs to people?
So many people. So Chris Parrott, who's our content manager, he's the one who's churned out the 100,000. Him and his team has churned out the 100,000 pieces of content.
Right.
He created a content factory and it's been incredible. So I need to give him a big shout out. Kristen Weber, who's our senior stadium entertainment manager, who's managing the IBC for us, has been incredible. Rachel King, she is there's nobody in an American stadium who doesn't know her name. She's been managing a lot of the stadiums for us. So she's big shout out. Andre Hucall, who manages Canada for us and is a big part of the halftime. Huge shout out. And then from the other side, Jenny Lee Van Gelder, our executive director, like I said, just a creative rock star, leader of the ship. Julie McCulloch, who's our talent manager, has been managing a lot of the ceremonies talent. Amy Regan, who's been managing all the talent for stadium entertainment. I could go on forever. Dario Pleich, who leads the team in Zurich. I mean, I could keep going forever and
Right.
ever. It'd be like an Emmy award, an Oscar award, thank you thing. Just go on with name after name after name. But the whole team has just been incredible, and for everybody, I mean, Ryland Baptiste, our music manager, who just the music's been a thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's an endless supply of people, and we had stadium entertainment alone. We had close to 1,100 people on our team across the tournament, and I think just one general thank you to everybody. And I will say if I could add one other thing that I think is really,
Sure.
it's been important to me, and it's been a really big boon for the stadium entertainment side of things to be able to bring this to America, is we've been able to incorporate a lot of great entertainment and performances as part of this World Cup, and we've never done that before.
Right.
We've done it on a much smaller scale. So, we've had, like I said, we had the Zach Brown Band, which they're absolutely incredible, come and play halftime in Dallas. We've had Steve Aoki come and perform at a number of events. We had Ellie Goulding come and perform in Miami. We had DJ Jazzy Jeff come and do halftime in Philly. We had Tech Nine. We have some more coming for the third place match, and ones that honestly there's been so many I can't remember everybody. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, the Blue Thunder drum lines, you name it. And so that for us has been a huge win and a great thing we want to push forward as part of FIFA is bring all these incredible talented entertainers out to different stadiums. Jermaine Dupri played in Atlanta yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, Bruce and Michael Buffer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't really get those names all the time.
I'll tell you, it was a bit of a surreal moment for me personally. I
Yeah.
was out by the stage in Dallas, and I come from a music back. Live music was my background before I got into sports, and I love it to death. And being able to do this was huge for me personally. But I was standing side stage yesterday with Steve Aoki, Zach Brown, and Bruce Buffer, the day before yesterday, I should say, in Dallas. And I'm standing there, I'm like, at a football match between Spain and France
Yeah.
in Dallas at our stage, and I've got Bruce, and I'm having a conversation with Bruce Buffer, Steve Aoki, and Zach Brown. I'm like, this is a fantastically surreal moment.
It's like a joke. It's like
It's
Steve
amazing.
Aoki, Bruce Buffer, Lance Brass walking to a bar. Uh,
Exactly.
that's great. That yeah, I
So
mean that's the beauty of the World Cup, right? Where they take in
yeah,
people of different walks of life, different sectors of industries, and coming together. So Lance, I'll leave you with this question. You mentioned you're Canadian, so it was a very proud moment for you to produce a lot of games in Canada. But when you take into account this entire experience from a personal standpoint and just from the work that you've done in this industry, both on the live event, music, and sports side, what will you take with you? What's the lasting impression of the World Cup and the entertainment side of things that you'll take with you for the rest of your career?
I think, wow. I think a lot of the feedback from, I've been lucky enough to talk to a lot of fans, and
Mhm.
you see people in airports flying around, you talk to everybody. And all of the feedback has been so positive. And I think one of the big takeaways is that we've really changed the landscape of how sports is presented. And I
Right.
think we've created a new standard. And I don't mean that from an egocentric side of things. I just mean I think with the team and the people and everybody, I think we've managed to pull together something that's really incredible and really has changed the landscape.
Mhm.
I think being able to bring live music into it has been a really big part of the win. It was really interesting. So just go back to Dallas for a minute for the semifinal. You saw people surround the stage and jumping up and down with Steve Aoki, and then 45 minutes later, and it was something I was really wondering if this was going to happen. 45 minutes later, you hear the whole stadium singing along to "Chicken Fried," which is one of my favorite songs. Like people are loving this because you got country music, you got dance music, and everybody is coming together to be part of something. And I think we really, I think the biggest point of pride for me will be that me and my incredible team of people have brought something really special, and there's going to be a lot of people around the world who will go home with memories of this World Cup that we helped create, and that to me is the biggest. I've got chills right now. The biggest win we can have.
Yeah, Lance. I mean, as a outsider's point of view, not being part of the actual production, and as a fan, it's been amazing to see, right? Going to some of the games and seeing it on television, and just kind of feeling the energy of all these places. It's not easy to do 104 matches and all these. You got the numbers and all those different places, right? But I just want to say congratulations on the great work. The job's not finished,
Thank
right?
you
I'm trying
so
to say the
much.
Kobe Bryant quote, "Job's not done." Sunday's gonna be amazing. So good luck on Sunday, and thank you for taking the time, Lance. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having given me a chance to chat with you guys. I really hope everybody takes on one good memory from the World Cup, and I hope we manage to give it to them. So thank you so much.